such as rolling, hops, super jumps, and all that. They're still there. That's definitely what made King of Fighters as a fighting game. It's a very signature kind of mechanic there.
I mean, I definitely like to describe it more as like a brawling game. You're always making contact.
Definitely.
There's always contact being made. There's not a lot of breaks in the match. So if you just look at it right now, there's not a lot of times where it's just one person taking it. That's over. Okay, now we're back in the action. Okay, now we're switching. Now we're back in the action again. Okay, we're back in the action again. So like a lot of stuff like that happens.
So a lot of non-stop. There's like you won't know what's coming next and things like that. Yeah.
So like it can be a very intense thing, but I'll tell you what, in a competitive atmosphere, to be able to witness that and understand the intense pressure that these players are on, especially when they're on the defensive, to make the turnaround, that's when those hype moments start to happen.
Right. I mean, that's definitely, it feels like as if you're learning a whole new language, and then once you understand what's happening in front of you, it makes the game much more interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's why this is important, right? We try to communicate how to perceive this game. It's all about the perception of the game, right?
Definitely, yeah. So this, I'm still very excited to just see these being played right in front of me.
Yeah.
Do you know if we are expecting any exhibitions probably throughout the E3 week? Or
actually, right. Well, we have this week.
Yeah,
today we have one set up for later, so we definitely will. As far as it will be streamed, I'm not sure about that, but it will be at least recorded.
It'll be on E3 though.
It'll be uploaded. But
super excited about it.
And that will have a little bit more of a competitive atmosphere to it. But yeah, look, these guys are already having a blast. You know,
they're just busy just playing it now.
Yeah, man. I mean, these guys play each other all the time, so they're pretty familiar with each other's playstyle. Playing the classic characters here, Kyo versus Benimaru.
Okay. And also, let's see, if we were to say, because, I mean, I know that the FGC as a whole, the community is very, they're very welcoming and very, such devoted members of the community. They like to express the game to others who might not understand fighting games in general.
Right.
If you were to deliver a message to those who might want to start playing fighting games, or maybe whenever they come to an event and want to understand the competitive aspect on it, what kind of message do you want to give out to those who are afraid to, come to events, offline events mostly, and things like that?
I would say that I understand the whole being nervous about applying yourself to something new.
A lot of players, I mean, I guess the general term is people always say, oh, I'm not good enough, or even if I watch these games being played by professionals, I don't know what's going on.
I'll tell you
what can we say to those people?
You would be surprised from what you can get out of attending an event. And I'll tell you what, initially when you first go there, you'll get out of it, right? If you watch at least the matches, and you're a part of that atmosphere of these professional people playing, you will start understanding why people are so gravitated to going to these events. It's not so much about how good you are, but really of observing these other players and you learning from them. And it's not just you, because I'll tell you what, you have the top 5% of players that play, that you get to see play. But there's a lot of you guys just like that. I mean, I'll throw myself into that group as well, that I'm always there trying to learn and watch. And everybody is pretty welcoming and trying to share that with each other. And it's so easy. Like, think about how many times you've gone to, I don't know, say a bar and there's a basketball game on. You don't know that this other person is the same fan of the same thing.
Right.
But you guys both get into the match and you both get excited together, and that's how you create that bond.
That's an awesome analogy. I like that. That's very nice. So it looks like there's another new character, Banderas. Another ninja character into the cast.
Yeah, the ninja, man. I mean, you had to have another representative, right? And here's another thing that I want to describe about these characters. If you notice, it has the classic characters, right?
That's right.
And those characters are from an older generation. It's created from the late 80s, from the 90s, from those ideas. But a lot of these new characters are really thinking about how culturally things have changed, right? If you just look at the designs of them, you look at Mui Mui, you look at Banderas, the ninja character, it has a lot more things that are more current to culture right now. So it's really interesting to see how KOF 14 has really tried to tap into that area.
Definitely. I mean, so it's received some graphical improvements I can see in comparison to the early footage. Of course, I believe this is still the development stage at the moment. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you guys see right now isn't the final product. We'll be able to see the completed game soon. Are we allowed to say the release date?
August 23rd. Yep.
Yeah,
up real
a
soon.
lot sooner than I thought it was. Yeah, because I just asked them. I thought it was in
That
September,
is
but that's
sooner
pretty
than
soon.
I
It's coming
expected.
Yeah.
So we'll be
really
able to see a lot of this action later in the year whenever it's available to you guys.
And
at home.
I would definitely also like to say, like, I was definitely one of those people that was really skeptical about this game.
Right.
You know, because I hold the series near and dear to my heart. It's one of the series that I first started off in. And once I started playing it, it's super fun. Like, it's a really, really fun game. You know, and
if we were to say, sorry, I'm doing too much comparisons.
No,
I'm
no,
like
no,
a fan
no.
of
That's
analogy
fine.
and comparisons. But if you were to say, which other King of Fighters do you think this is the closest to?
so I would say this. I would say it's simpler in the way that you approach how it appears even to novice players.
Right.
Like 98 was a great skill. The skill level was super high.
Definitely.
But-
98 is. It
but-
was the peak of
yeah.
when the game was.
But it
very
is
exciting.
a more simplified version
Okay.
of how KOFs were. So you think about it, it's more like that and a combination of an easier way of maybe an O2. Like, because
Oh,
O2
right.
was also complicated, but think about those games that people love, but made them more accessible and put them into one game.
I see. So it's a mixture of
Yeah.
those. I mean, I'm good to hear that it's got a mix of 98 and O2.
Yeah.
Which I believe those two are the most popular and
They are.
yeah.
Yes.
Most I guess
They
hype.
still
Yeah,
play it to this day. So yeah, it has very strong communities behind them.
That is some dedication. This King of Fighters community. I believe. I mean, I'm fully aware that the older King of Fighters games are still popular to this day.
Yeah,
And whenever I see top players play them, I'm still so amazed by how the game looks so flexible whenever
Yeah.
it's in their hands. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And hopefully this King of Fighters 14 will be accessible to much more players,
Yeah.
casual and professionals alike.
And I mean, like, to be honest with you, I like a lot of games. Like, I watch every game. I'm just a fan of fighting games in general, right?
Right.
I don't play every game, though. However, when I go to these events, I learn